Hello YouTube, it's Carlos the Rook, and I'm bringing you round 4 that I played in Wolf Chess Championship 7. And in this round I'm playing Yash Varden. He's rated 1865 and I'm rated 1781. I have the white pieces. So I started off e4. He responds c5 going into Sicilian. Knight f3, knight c6. So I go d4, he captures, I capture, and here I was expecting knight f6 when I would have responded knight to f3 and go off in a Shafirnikov. But instead he played e5, which I believe is the Kalishnikov. So I went knight b5, and he goes d6 to stop my knight from hitting that d6 square. So I bring my other knight to c3, and he goes a6. So I bring the knight to a3, and he responds with b5. And I go knight d5. And here, Stockfish is saying bishop captures b5 is an idea here. It's one that I completely missed. Because I was expecting knight f6, and I was going to go into bishop g5, bishop e7, bishop captures, and go into that line. But however, he played h6, which is a losing move. And the reason h6 is a bad move, I found out in my lessons when I was talking to my coach, is because bishop captures b5. And how does it work, you wonder? A captures back, knight captures, and now the threat is knight c7. So both knights can hit c7, and you're going to have a check forking the rook. And if you go queen a5, check trying to stop it, it's just bishop d2. The queen takes, it's a royal fork. So that doesn't work. And the rook can't stop it because then you just drop the rook. There's no way to stop that. So that's why bishop captures b5 was a really, really great move there. But I missed it. I went c3 instead. And I understood the idea of h6 was to stop bishop g5. So when he brings his knight to f6, he's not pinned. And he goes knight f6. And here Stockfish wants me to capture the knight on f6 with an advantage. It wants knight captures f6, queen captures f6, knight c2. And it has white up 1.03. So this is what Stockfish wants. And I guess white is going to develop the bishop and castle kingside and just do normal development. And black has a backwards pawn, so you'll be piling pressure up on this pawn on d6. And the whole thing will be not to allow a d5 Sicilian break. But here I went bishop d3 instead. And knight captures, e captures, and you go back knight b8. And now I castled. The engine wanted me to play c4 and break up their pawns. He developed with bishop e7. And I went for knight c2, which the engine didn't like. Let's see what they wanted here. They wanted c4. They just want c4, giving this pawn some support. And if that pawn takes, I guess the bishop takes. And if b4, queen a4 check, you take the pawn. Huh. Okay. So I went knight c2. And here he played bishop g5. I play a4, and my idea is to crack open the queen side. He captured. I captured, even though the engine wants f4 here to just hit at that bishop. He captured here. I captured back. And now he castled. And here I went knight e3. And my idea was just to put some protection on the d5 pawn. And I didn't want to push c4 just yet, or b4, because I didn't want a weakness on c3 or b2. And my idea is I wanted my queen onto e2 and put pressure, and put another rook on the other rook on a1 and just put pressure on that pawn, because that's what I had a similar position in my opening prep. And just because I had this in my opening prep, I just got stuck, and that's what my pieces needed to be. So he goes knight d7. And here I go bishop c2, because the knight is coming to c5 and fork the rook and bishop. And he goes knight b6 hitting the rook. I dropped the rook to a2. I should have dropped it to a3. It would have been a better position. And now he goes f5. Pushing on this end. And I'll push up f3. But if we backtrack, here to this position, this was a critical position. I had a slight advantage, and I played knight e3 and just totally squandered the position. Better would have been b4 here. And with b4, I'm solidifying my position. And if he go f5, I can go f4, hitting at that position that way. But the idea is knight to e3 to c4. And the knight on c4 hits the pawn on d6. It stops this pawn from advancing to a5. And then I can double up rooks here. So that's an idea. So that was a critical position where I missed a critical move. So I went to f3. And here he went f4, hitting the knight. And I went knight g4 here. I wasn't really sure where to go. And this is an error. The engine has him up 2.20 here. He takes the knight. I take back. And now he takes this knight here. And what I was thinking here is I could pin the knight and there's no way he can protect it. And so I thought bishop b3 was a move. But bishop b3 squanders. Now that's why I was saying earlier my rook, initially I wanted to put the rook on a3. I wasn't sure to drop the rook to a3 or a2. But if I had dropped it to a3, then that would have been a move. It would have been a good move instead of a bad move. Because now he got queen b6, checking and picking up the bishop. I step over, he takes the bishop. Rook a3 hitting the queen. Queen drops to b7. And here I go queen d2, hitting at the knight. And now he hit the rook, and I see that the knight is coming to c4, forking the queen rook. And here I just resign because he's going to win the exchange. He's already up a piece and he's winning the exchange, which means I'm just going to be down a rook. So this was a tough game, but because I had opening prep in my mind and a position I wanted to get to, that's what I tried to follow. The other takeaway is learn how to deviate from what you think you should be doing. When you hit a critical position, analyze the position and figure that position out versus what you got memorized in your head. And I missed the tactic. There's a reason h6 was bad, bishop b5, and that just crushes them. All right, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tell your friends and family. Let's grow the channel. Thank you, YouTube. Have a nice day. Goodbye.